Okay.
Thank you for tuning in to Interview with DJ Nocturna. If you're listening on my YouTube channel, podcast, please like, subscribe, and share. I'm so excited again because I have nationally award-winning author, astrologer, life expert, and founder of Happiness You, my friend Alice Inoue. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you. I always love coming on. I miss seeing
You
you in person, but this
know,
is better than nothing.
oh my gosh, it's so amazing to always have you. We always have something good to talk about, and I'm always like, every time you're gonna come on the show, I always say, "Wow, I know it's gonna be another positive one that it's gonna make my day." Simply that,
Okay.
yeah, because you always have that, wonderful spirit, and you bring everybody, just in a good place.
Thank you. My intention is always to bring something good to the table. I mean, I know what it's like to be in a bad place, and I know that we all have that ability to move ourselves to a better place. And I think since I've done a little bit of that journey, I love to share it.
Yeah, and you've been coming on my, if since a Feast of Friends on KTUH.
Like now about 7, 8 years at least, because Happiness You makes 10 years in 2023. So I believe I met you right around 2014. So we're like on our eighth, ninth year now, if
Yeah,
it's
that's
if you
right.
can believe it.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many times? I mean, we probably talked about several books that you've written.
Books.
And
Yep.
then
I mean, you've had
you're
me on multiple times. I mean, when I go through my memories on my phone, it's like Nocturna, Nocturna. I have you everywhere, all
and
throughout my whole
pictures
entire life.
and pictures too. We have so many pictures
Yeah.
together, all doing
Yeah.
different poses.
Yes. It's been wonderful. Just wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I know you have a lot of stuff going on. You just released your latest book.
I did, I did.
And
Oh, and you got it.
I got
Thank
it right
you.
here, and it's called "The Best of Mindful Moments: A Collection of Life Wisdom," which I really like. And I was gonna, pick up, pull up a page and read
Yes.
something.
Okay.
And then you have an event coming up, which is
Yeah,
your
we can talk
podcast.
about that. Yes, my astrological yearly forecast. We can talk about that. It's the year of the water rabbit. We can talk about how
Oh
that
yeah,
ties
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
A lot of
we
stuff
are
going on.
living in some crazy times. So I think we can all use all the help we can get.
I for those who were not listening back when I had my other show, maybe you could start up by telling us a little bit about how you began with. I know you're also an astrologer. How did you begin with all of? Because I know you were in the media business.
Yeah, what's interesting, my story is um, really, really a good example on how your life is destined in some way to be exactly what it needs to. And sometimes we choose it, sometimes it happens to us. And so in my case, it kind of happened to me. I was working at a company called Japan TV News. I had lots of television shows like here in Hawaii, but a lot in Japan. And I was at the top of my, let's call it my media career. I had sponsors that paid me a lot of money to wear their clothes, and I thought I thought it couldn't get any better as far as a career goes. And someone had gifted me an astrology session, and I had not done astrology. I didn't even know what that was. So I went just to be open, kind of curious. And what came from that was not only kind of understanding myself, but he had forecasted that in 3 years, and at that time in April, 3 years from that time, that I was going to go through a career change, a life career change. And it made sense because I was getting older. So I would start maybe producing and directing versus being in front of the camera. But what happened was I forgot all about it. Imagine
Mhm.
3 years later, I get fired from my job because they sell the company. I go down to unemployment to fill out all those forms. I open up my phone and it has a message that I had put in there 3 years ago that said, astrologer said, your life will go through a facelift. Pluto will change your life. And I just thought, how could this man how could that be possible? I was at the top of my game, and on the day or the month that he said there'd be change, I got fired. So at that moment, I felt that it was my destiny, would you call it? Or I felt like I had to learn this. I had to learn this because I wanted to learn how to understand the mysteries of life, how to understand all these complexities that we go through, and how to understand our future. So I started studying and studying and studying, and now here we are 23 years later, and I'm literally doing it, using it, and teaching it and sharing it. I love astrology. So that said, I do an astrological forecast every year, and I've been doing it for about 15 years now.
So when you said Pluto was Pluto, do you remember Pluto was going through your 10th house or the fourth?
Now, oh, so what it was, so in astrology, the top of your chart represents your career, or we call it your midheaven.
Yep.
And Pluto was in my sixth house of day-to-day work, and it was creating a
Oh,
square to my midheaven, which is my life path. And Pluto rules death and destruction, death and rebirth, transformation, moving into your power. So I lost everything. I lost my reputation. I lost all my jobs. I lost all my sponsors. In fact, I lost all my social group, because you know what it's like when you have something to give people, they want to hang around you. I was Miss Popular. Everybody wanted me because I could promote their business, and I was quite elevated. As soon as I lost my job, all my friends went away. So I was very alone. So think about how Pluto takes it all away. I was alone with nothing but my astrology books. So I spent the next 7 years sort of as a hermit, just learning and learning and studying and practicing and practicing. And I found that there is a message that the universe has for us in the form of planets. And if you understand the language, you understand your life. And so I've kind of made it my mission and my purpose to understand how to translate what the planets are saying to humanity collectively and to each of us personally. Yeah,
wow.
it's profound. I ask me how it works. I don't know. I just know that we can find a pattern in the sky that matches the pattern in our lives.
Because that must have been really hard when that was going on. I could imagine.
It was kind of hard, but I
Yeah.
never felt more free. Never felt more free. Before, I was chained to sponsors and
Oh,
television shows and being a certain way and doing a certain thing. I was very, very tied into that. And it was very fake in many ways now that I look back. So I think now the authenticity in which we're able to function, or I am, it makes it so much easier. And again, Nocturna, my God, when I first started doing astrology 23 years ago, it was weird. People did not accept me. People would chant those songs like do 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 do, and then they thought that I had gone nuts, like bonkers. Like, here's this person who used to be this television host, all traveling all over the world, and all of a sudden she's what? She's this astrologer. It was crazy. But yeah, I lost a lot of friends, but I made new ones that were more in line with who I was becoming.
yeah. So you feel more at power then.
Much more empowered, much more free, much more calm, because I think in a world of chaos, in a world of so much controversy and so much polarity, we have to know our center. We have to know who we are and what we believe in. And I feel like astrology just helps to guide us. You don't
Mm.
follow it every day, but you understand it in a way that helps you, because we really need to hunker down and I don't know the right word, but we just need to connect to ourselves. And that's really why I talked about this year. 2023 is the year of connection to our soul, like who we are and what we're meant to do here.
So now you have your latest book, The
Mhm.
Best of Mindful Moments, and
Yes.
this was actually inspired by your popular column that's it's in the Midweek.
Yes. I
It's
was
called The Mindful Moment.
mindful moment. Yes. Yes. I was so blessed. About 7 years ago, the publisher, he has always been a big fan of my work, and he's just such a spiritually open person. And he said, Alice, I think there's a need for something like this. So I auditioned for it and wrote a couple, and it was good. So 7 years ago, we do it once a week, and we've grown a following. And so then I put it in the book so that it's more like a fortune cookie book, kind of like you just open it up and you just read it, and it might be exactly the message that you need.
So before I turned on my computer today, I actually turned the page, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I got page 83. And I don't know if I should do this again because I think when you turn it once, it's good, right?
It's good, and we can do one for the listeners if you want.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay. So you want me
Yeah,
to turn
just
the
pull
page?
it. Just open
Okay,
it to
okay,
any
all right,
page and
okay,
see what you read, and then we can go from
all
there.
right, here, okay. No matter what,
Okay, read it,
started
no matter
studying.
what.
You want me to read it?
Yeah,
Okay. No matter how awful it feels, even the most complex challenges and aggravating events contain hidden blessings. The sooner you start looking for the blessings, the better you will feel. What is wise is to make the decision to trust that no matter what may come at you, there is a blessing in it, as unlikely as it may seem. And if it gets really tough, just inhale and exhale fully, knowing that even if you do not have control of the situation, you do have control of the moment. Oh my
yeah,
God, that is so
yeah.
good. That's really yep.
It's isn't it true though?
Yeah,
We
I
we
mean,
we can't control people's situations, bosses, coworkers, friends, the public. You can't control anything, but what we can control is the moment, and it's how we look at the moment. We have to live life moment by moment now. We have to choose in this moment what I'm going to focus on. Otherwise, we'll focus on fear, we'll focus on all the things that we don't want to manifest, and if we don't catch ourselves and we focus on what we don't want, we keep creating more of what we don't want. And we never get out of that never ending cycle of pain. So, yeah, it's
well,
moment by moment these days.
I mean, you have to remember everything contains a hidden blessings, and that's so true. I guess that's a good thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Life
Um,
is not meant to be easy. It's
yeah,
not, and it
yeah.
isn't. Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to find your book,
Yeah, like what's interesting is we can buy it on Amazon now very easily.
mhm,
You just type in Alice Mindful Moments and it will come up. If you live in Honolulu, they sell it at Sedona here. And you know, Sedona, the store that sells crystals in Honolulu. They sell the book at Watanabe Florist now. So yeah,
yeah,
so we got a couple of outlets here locally.
yeah, and you know, some people might have missed your sign when you had
Yeah, I
a
had a
book
book
signing,
signing, yeah, a couple weeks ago.
but you know, like it's available in all those other places, and of course your website as well.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Yeah, thank you.
And I know your event that's coming up, which you do every year, is a it's like a forecast, kind of like a forecast reading or some kind. Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you about that. So, it all started where I really do more personal astrology, but once a year I do look at collective astrology, like how are the planets in the world kind of affecting us as people, just as groups of people, and from that we can get some pretty good insight. And I think that the one thing that that really even shocked me was in 2020 we had a big event, about 300 people came, and I did a forecast, and there was one slide. We didn't know we were going to have a pandemic, right? But the one slide, and I have a somebody shared that picture with me, and that one slide said things can take years. Oh, change can take years until it all happens at once. And it was just so prophetic because we had all of this change that happened at once. And so so with these forecasts, what I like to do is kind of give people a heads up, like what should we be focusing on this year for the best flow? What are some of the themes that we're going to see out in the world and how will that affect us? So yeah, so I'm doing another forecast. I've done some preliminary research on it already. I had to do that to give the name of the year. So every year I name the year. So 2022, this year was the year of you 2.0, all about you up leveling yourself, becoming a better version of yourself, valuing yourself more, not taking crap from people, just like how do you up level yourself? This coming year, after a lot of thought, I decided to call it the year of connection. And the tagline is what gives it some explanation. The tagline is like deepening our roots during these shifting times. And why I say that is because I see a lot of stormy weather out there, meaning out there in politics, out there in climate, out there in the world, a lot of dissension, a lot of craziness. We're seeing it already. And so we can't go and change that. So the theme is that we need to deepen our roots. Like, what do I need to nurture and grow and blossom? So the icon for this year, or the symbol I'm using, the tree of life, where that is it. And because of the elements we're seeing, we'll see more earth and water, which is all about grounding and rooting and earthing ourselves. So we can definitely talk more about that, but that's kind of the theme. So I started looking into it. The numerology of 2023 is the 7 year, and with the 7 year, it really is, it has a lot to do with like introspection, reflection, evolution, integration of the seen and unseen, kind of inner voyage kind of things. So this is really a year where we got to get to know ourselves, accept ourselves as who we are. What is our power? How are we manifesting that? There's going to be a lot of fear. There always is, but I think a lot more as we move into 2023. Yeah, so it's kind of a heavy year, I think. I don't want to be like, I don't want to give a forecast that's not true and say, oh, it's going to be a great year. Everybody's going to be happy and,
Mhm.
ascend to heaven. We can find our own happiness, yes, but I think that in order to do so, we need to know who we are, who our community is, who supports us. Because if we're just waiting to see what's going to happen, I think there's just a lot of change still yet to come. I mean, you see it, right, Nocturna?
Oh
Just
yeah,
a lot
always.
of
It's
shifts.
always. I mean, there's always. I mean, we never know what's going to happen next. I mean, we just have to
Yes.
be prepared, and we
Mhm.
just have to have a you know, see things in a different light, in a positive light, I guess.
Yeah, and
I
then we keep
I always try to stay positive.
yeah,
Because
and we have to keep looking for that. We keep looking for that. Then we balance it out. But if you don't strengthen that muscle and we get pulled by the uncertainties of the world, then we will kind of live sort of this chaotic internal existence. So that's kind of it takes a long time for me to really get a sense of what the year is going to be. But I feel like I'm getting better and better at it. And I
Mhm.
use the planets, I use the numbers, I use the Chinese astrology, I use all of these things just so we get sort of a temperature, like weather. It's not like anybody can tell you exactly all the things that are going to happen, because you and I have a choice as to how we want to experience things, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is going to take place next year, January 22nd, which is a Sunday, and it's
Yes.
actually on Eventbrite, and
Mhm.
people can actually watch it on their computer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so cool. Eventbrite, and that's Chinese New Year's Day. It's the day
Oh,
of the water rabbit. And it's funny how the Chinese astrology every year will always match the Western astrology. It's very interesting to me. I remember one time I was doing my sessions, and a gentleman came for a session, and I said, "Oh," after we finished the session, I said, "Oh, what do you do?" He says, "Oh, I'm a Chinese astrologer." And I said, "Oh, uh, why did you come? Like, Len," he says, "I just was curious what your astrology said." And I said, and he says, very, very similar. So what it is we're all trying to climb the same mountain. There's just different ways to get there. Vedic astrology, tropical astrology, Chinese astrology, numerology. We're all looking for perspective. And no matter what modality you use to get it, somehow, if you trust in the unseen patterns in the universe, we end up kind of seeing from the same mountaintop the whole picture. It's always going to be about choice, though, about what you choose to do and how you choose to navigate your year.
and so this particular event is going to be, if people wanted to get tickets, they just have to go to happinessyou.eventbrite.com or go to
Yeah.
Eventbrite. Just search for Happiness You, or they can go to your website.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alice. Is it
Oh,
Alice
you can go
Inoue?
to the best one is probably the happiness you. So it's your happiness and then the letter u.com. Lots of ways to find it, but yeah, it's gonna be it's just gonna be a year. We're almost to the end of the year now. New
I
Year is
mean,
coming soon.
I always look forward to your forecast. You know, I remember there was a time, before the pandemic, when you would have it in actually people can go there and actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might come back to that in 2024, maybe do a simultaneous, like where it's online and live too, because
Yeah,
it's nice to see people and
I
to have
know.
that
Yeah.
in person
I mean,
too.
it's always so busy.
Yeah.
There were so many people there, you know.
Yeah, it just
But it,
got more and more popular every year. I think because now it's not looked at as weirdly as it was 20 years ago. I think everyone's looking for hope, looking for possibility, looking for guidance, looking for how do I make my life better. So it's just another way that we can get some insight. Yeah.
wow, I'm really excited about this. So once again, you can find it on yourhappinessyou.com for
Yep.
her the virtual evening with Alice. And
Yes. Yes. So, what would you like me to share today? Anything in
I don't know
specific?
if you wanna say a little bit more. I mean I know there's so much to say, but and people just gonna have to wait for the event.
I can say stuff and I because I could tell you what I have so far and I'll develop a lot more between now and the event.
Okay.
Um it's let's just say this. I want everyone to think that it's a year to 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 simplify. You know how we talk about quantity and quality? This is a quality kind of year for you and I'm saying how are you personally going to navigate this year? If I'm saying that the world will go through continued changes. For example, the United States, just like you and I have a birth chart, everyone listening or watching has a birth chart. You were born at a certain day, at a certain time, and we can use that chart to kind of understand who you are, your potentials, and your themes and cycles. Well, the countries have a birth chart as well. So the United States has a birth chart. And the big news with astrologers right now is that if with the birth of United States, we use July 4th, 1776. There's a certain time when that Declaration of Independence was signed. Boom, that becomes the birth of the United States. So there's this one cycle. It's called the Pluto return. Takes a couple hundred years, right, to
Hmm.
happen. And what's interesting is the Pluto return is well, first of all, Pluto, he's like the rebirther. He's deep, he's controlling, he's about death and rebirth. Pluto always reveals the hidden and the unseen. And if he was going to have a middle name, it's power. And so this Pluto return has been going on. It started in 2022. We're pretty much halfway through it, but 2023, we're going to see some things happening, and it's a lot of potential here, right? But this is where I say the rules and the operations of the United States are going to go through a transformation. And if Pluto rules what's hidden, then we're going to kind of see how the government is matching kind of like the original intentions. And what we can do with astrology is we can go and look to see, well, what did other countries, what happened when other countries older than Pluto went through this? So when we look back and we look at France, well, France had a Pluto return. Guess what happened? Napoleon died, right? Russia had a Pluto return. Stalin died. Spain had a Pluto return. Their dictator, Franco something, he relinquished power. So we're just looking at power structures changing. I'm not saying, oh, anybody's going to die. I'm just saying that there's going to be some power structures changing, which will impact us. So while that's going on, we'll see it in the news. We'll be talking about it. In addition to that, we're going to see all the climate stuff and all the diversity things are coming up, right? All of these issues, social issues happening. So this is a year where we want to simplify. We want to know who we are, and like I was saying, lots of earth and water. So think of earth, it's the ground. Think of
Hmm.
water, when we pour it, it goes to the ground. So 2022, 2023, lots of earth and water. And as we move into 2025, 2026, it shifts, lots of fire and air. So I know that we're rebirthing now. We're going from that earth into that sort of like, call it like a Scorpio, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. We're going to see a lot of that. And so I think the key is to tune in with ourselves, really cultivate your integrity, like what you stand for. Right or wrong, no such thing, right? It's what's important for you. So I really say that we want to become sensitive, to our senses, your intuition, trusting what you're feeling. What are you choosing? Who are you listening to? These are the things that we're going to be asking ourselves. What is the truth? Is the truth what this person says or that person? Maybe we don't know. So we're going to have to use our sense as to what is important. So I think that's why I called it the year of connection. There's a theme of reflection, and really bringing yourself into center. And that is really the best way to weather any storm. Think about a tree. The deeper the roots, the broader the roots, the stronger the tree stands. And the broader and more vast the roots, the more, what do you call it, more nutrients it gets to be able to blossom and grow. So that's sort of the metaphor that I'm using a lot. So you're
Mm.
going to ask yourself, like, what's your intentions? Like, what do you want this year? You're not happy in your job. Make a move. Trust that you will get what you need because you are sensing that it's not where you want to be. You don't want to be treated that way, or you don't want to feel the way you're feeling, or you're not valued. And so now go out and look for your value. Same with relationships. I mean, same with your health, valuing your health. Maybe you've been talking for a long time. Oh, I got to take better care. I got to exercise, lose weight, be more healthy, sleep earlier. How are you going to connect with that and actually value yourself enough to realize that if you don't connect and dig deep, you're just going to get blown away. So it's not like a pretty message, I guess, but it's a real valuable message because at no other time do we need to know ourselves more than now. And at no other time in history do we need each other as much as we do now.
And I'm pretty sure that people listening and people that's going to be listening on that evening can probably relate to that because everybody has their own journey
Own challenges.
challenges
Not one single person has nothing going on. Not one.
or
I
something.
talk to 100 people a month. I coach 100 people a month. Sometimes I will talk to 12 people in one day. And nobody sits around saying, oh my God, my life is perfect. Oh, everything's going well. There's always something. We're always needing to be aware, be a little more conscious and grow. So yeah, it sounds heavy. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you're the happiness, you chief happiness officer. You should give us more happy news." But I think the happiness is up to us.
That's
I
very
think
true.
the happiness is
Yeah.
up to us. And yeah, and it's not easy. And I can honestly say that it's a daily journey, this moment to moment journey.
Now, in terms of the Chinese astrology, I know you mentioned that as well.
Oh yeah, so last year, so let's just go back 2 years. 2 years ago, so the 2021. That was the metal ox. Okay, so metal. Remember 2021? It was like we had to really follow all these rules. Remember all those rules, 6 feet apart, wash your hands 5 seconds, all these rules. Metal is all about rules, and ox is we had to be really durable and stubborn to do that. Then this year, I'm sorry, not last year, this year, 2022 was the water tiger year. So this was like water is like go with the flow, and tiger was kind of initiation, bring your best self out. So you're going to notice in Chinese astrology that the elements repeat itself. So what's happening is on the day of my event is actually the Chinese New Year's Day for the water rabbit. So the year of the water rabbit, so we say goodbye to the fierce water tiger. Now soft and fluffy is kind of the mood. So you have to treat yourself gentle. This is the new ruler, so we want to be tender with other people, caring. Here's some themes of the rabbit year. Think abundance, rabbit. You know how rabbits, they multiply, they become very abundant. Abundant. Rabbit represents spirituality. I think more of us will be tuning into our own form of spirituality. It's a heightened sensitivity. Think of how rabbits, they're so sensitive. They could be, they twitch, their ears move at any turn. If there's sound, if there's a person coming by, we're going to be more in tune, more sensitive. The rabbit ear is
It's
also a
like
very strong.
water, the water
Yeah,
element. Right?
right. It is. The water matches that, right?
Yeah.
We'll be expressing more affection. Rabbit ears more affectionate. bonding, intimate bonding. That's a theme. We're going to want to bond and be closer to others. So that's basically the water year. And it's we think about rabbits when when rabbits are happy. If you've ever seen a rabbit, a super happy rabbit, it can actually do a full bodied leap and leap into the air. They call it like a binky. If you've ever seen one, it's like so cute, like when a rabbit just jumps up. So this is where we're talking about emotional contagion. So we will be contagious for each other. If I am in a good space, that will be contagious for you to be in a good space. So you want to cultivate that for yourself because it is a community connecting year for sure. For sure. Yeah. We
Wow.
yeah, we have a happiness shoe. We used to have a in-house location where we'd come, and you've been to our school before and done things. But we moved online because we weren't able to meet for a couple years. So we have this online hui. It's called the Happiness You Hui. And I wanted to start this community because I feel like we're gonna all need to come together and hear the same messages and have this sort of rabbit-like contagion, like this affection, this tenderness. The world is harsh. If your job, your relationships, or whatever is not good, you can come into the hui for support, for positive reinforcement.
And
So,
how do they do that? How would they?
oh, oh, the hui, yeah. So we have it's a membership, and it's happinessyuhui.com. It's happiness, the letter U, HUI, happinessyuhui.com. And every month I do an astrological forecast. I show up there every Thursday for 30 minutes and we talk about some themes. And really the purpose is so that we can all deepen our roots and find ourselves. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much going on. And I remember that. I remember your book that you the superhero book.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes,
remember that. It's
yes.
called Master Your Superpowers.
Yes, yes, that's really good. And you know what? We have to change our heroes a little bit because now in the world of where we are today with the diversity, equity, inclusion, some people are not feeling included because the heroes are male and female. So we're now in process. In fact, today I met with the artist. We're going to start creating a little bit more gender fluid, non-binary sort of yeah, sort of gender neutral characters as well, so that anyone who takes the quiz can be represented and feel represented because the world is changing.
Is there a book coming up pretty soon?
So I'm gonna have to change my book. Yeah, I'm gonna have this coming year, I will change the cover. I'll change all of the characters to just express a little bit more of where the world is today. So that everyone feels very included, not just if you're a male or female gender. So yeah, so I'm getting more aware of the times that we're living in,
Mhm.
and just wanting everyone to feel a part of a community.
Wow, so many interesting things going on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the forecast event.
Yes, yeah, you'll get your invitation soon. We're sending those out. Yeah, it's just gonna be simple. It's just me talking for about an hour, about 2 hours, maybe hour with a break and 45 minutes. So it's gonna be astrology and then sort of guidance for the year.
So that's again Sunday, January 22nd at 4 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, beginning at and also 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern, which is good because everybody can, depending to where they live, right? You just have to
Exactly.
call the
And you
Hawaii.
can always watch it again. Like if you can't watch it on that day and you buy tickets, you can actually view it afterwards. It's that we're just going to do it live. It's like we have a production company, Pop Creative Media. They set it all up for us so it looks like a TV show. So it's not just on Zoom. It's like it has like fly-in things and
Oh,
we have it decorated. It's going to be like a TV show.
and the tickets are Happiness U, and U is the letter U dot eventbrite.com, or go to the
Yeah.
website, Alice's
Thank
website,
you.
and you can find it over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for always keeping us informed, and I'll be sure
Uh,
to share this with everyone.
It is
Uh,
my pleasure. I just love seeing you. I love our connection. I'll never forget the first time we met. We talked about the internet, and we said that it's a spiritual place because we got to connect spiritually through the internet, the wireless internet. I mean, it's just so neat the way that our community has come together through technology in a way we couldn't have imagined before. So
I
I truly believe we're still attracting our like-minded community members to us.
I remember when I first saw you, it was actually, I think, in the newspaper.
Oh, how
Midweek,
interesting.
yeah, that was, and then I remember you had this event in one
Yeah,
of these venues
yeah.
on Depot Street. I can't remember the name of the club now, but
Oh,
then I
yeah,
go,
the
oh yeah, she's that's the lady from the newspaper. I remember that, and then I saw you on Facebook, and I contacted you.
yes.
Then you came
Yeah,
on the show, and that's how
yeah,
we
yeah.
connected.
That
And
was 2014.
and then
Mhm.
Alice, you're a Cancer sun, right?
Cancer Sun. Cancer Sun, Scorpio Moon, Cancer Rising. I'm a triple water, double Cancer, so I'm a very caring, nurturing person, but don't cross me. I'm just kidding.
See, that's our connections. I'm a Sagittarius sun, Scorpio rising, and Taurus
Yes,
moon. Yeah.
yes, absolutely, I totally get that.
Well,
Ah, Nocturne, I love seeing you.
yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. It's always a pleasure to have you in the show, and congratulations on your new book as well. And I
Thank
will
you.
see you next year at the Year of the Connection,
Yes, I can't wait
2023.
to see you. Thank you,
Okay.
Nocturna.
Happy holidays, and I'm gonna turn this off. And if you're watching, please like, subscribe, and share on my YouTube channel and also on Facebook. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me turn this off. Thank you. Thank you, Alice.